This podcast was originally live-streamed on the NonSequitur Show on YouTube. New episodes air weekdays, Monday through Friday, at 8 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/NonSequitur Show. Make sure you never miss a live stream by visiting www.nonsecshow.com/schedule. For the latest news, polls and updates throughout the day, follow us on Twitter at NonSecShow or Facebook.com/NonSecShow. That's NonSeq Show. If you'd like to get exclusive content, bi-weekly private hangouts with Kyle and Steve, backstage access to chat with guests after shows hosted on your channel and much more, become a Patreon saint of NonSequitur. It ensures we continue to improve our show and brings you into the process at the same time. Visit patreon.com/NonSequitur today while the limited spots are still available.
The following podcast is intended for those who believe bold ideas are righteous, unique perspectives are gospel, and strong opinions are sacred. This is Non Sequitur. Never follow. And now, here are your hosts, Kyle Curtis and Steve McCrae.
Non-sequitur. Your facts are uncoordinated. Non-sequitur. Your facts are uncoordinated.
You guys will have to forgive me at the top of the show. I am battling a really bad cold, so I sound really bad. It's not that beautiful, sexy voice that you're used to, that with that southern drawl. So I apologize for.
At least you look great.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. I tell you, I'm extremely intimidated tonight because the amount of just academic expertise and intelligence and knowledge in this call is enough to make me want to like crawl under the covers. I feel like a mentally inferior dude over here. So this is going to be awesome. Welcome everybody back to Non Sequitur. Steve, how's everybody? How are you doing?
I'm having a great hair day. That's all I can say. I'm having a great hair day.
Wow.
I'm intimidated as well, so I'm kind of still in awe that we managed to get Dr. Prothero in here. So I'm working out the shock and awe.
We are, of course, as you can tell, joined by, in his human form tonight, the one and only Paulogia. How are you doing, Paul?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Looking forward to my Christmas, which is next week. So no spoilers.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You haven't. So no spoilers, everyone.
It's not a Canadian thing. It's just my family. No worries.
I was getting ready.
It's a Jewish thing, right? Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right. So let me now. I'm going to. I very rarely do this, but I feel like it's appropriate for this guest. His resume is extremely impressive, and I want to read some of his accolades here, just so that you guys know. Donald Prothero is the author of 35 books, including the best-selling Evolution: What the Fossils Say and Why It Matters, which won the Outstanding Earth Science Book of 2007 award from the American Association of Publishers. His book Reality Check: How Science Deniers Threaten Our Future won the silver medal in science from the Indie Fab Awards, which are small and independent publishers. His book the Eocene, Oligocene. Thank you. Transition. Paradise Lost was designated the Outstanding Earth Science Book of 1994 by choice. Other popular titles include Abominable Snowman, the Abominable Science, the Origin of the Yeti, Nessie, and Other Cryptids. There's probably 8 more different books that are listed on here, but he's also the author, editor. Let me move my thing here. And co-editor of numerous technical volumes, including the evolution of one more time, Dr. Prothero.
There's both of them. There's the evolution of artiodactyls and evolution of perissodactyls. I don't know which one you mean.
That one. The
okay.
Perissodactyls. Yeah, that one.
One.
Yeah, so this guy is, to say he knows his stuff would be an understatement. And it's really cool that he has taken the time to come in and be with us. So welcome, Dr. Prothero. It's great to have you.
Oh, thanks for having me. My name is Prothero, by the way, just so we get that straight.
Prothero. Thank you very much. At least once a show, I always screw up someone's last name. That's a thing here.
He didn't get my name right for the first 3 months. He actually forgot it before, so
I forgot it once.
It's a work in progress.
I've lived with that all my life. Even my graduate advisor never got it right. It's actually an unusual name. It's a Welsh name. It comes from Achredodd, I mean, son of Roderick, in Welsh. So you won't run into very many places. Although if you read Welsh literature, like Dylan Thomas's A Child's Christmas in Wales, there's a Miss Prothero in there, so it's actually a common name in South Wales.
Well, I can say this. Like I said, it happens once every show I mispronounce someone's last name. So if anything, I'm consistent. So there's a good takeaway there.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna now let you guys introduce. Add anything that you want, Paul. I know if you got anything on your series coming up, what you're doing now. Just kind of tell people, if they're not familiar with you for whatever reason, where they can find you and what you do.
Sure. So I'm Paul from Apologia, which is a YouTube channel here. I talk. I'm a former Christian, and I talk about a lot of Christian-themed things. I recently wrapped a series. It took all year on Eric Hoven's Genesis Paradise Lost movie, going through minute by minute and kind of letting people know why the science wasn't really science. Although this upcoming year, I'm moving more into what is my personal expertise, which was the Bible. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of obviously I'm still Tarek and Ham and Eric, but I'm going to be also looking at some Bible stuff. So Apologia, if you're for some reason you don't know who I am, that's fun.
Excellent.
If you want to mispronounce his name, call him Palogia, because he really likes that.
Well, that's an acceptable Greek form too. I'm okay.
Steve, real quickly, before we dive into tonight's topic, I'm gonna let you let everybody know about that special thing that we've got coming up with. Apologia reminded me with Eric about Eric's father. Can you let them know?
Oh, if they weren't here the other night to hear it.
Yeah.
Does Apologia know?
I don't know.
Oh,
maybe.
We are arranging for Mr. Ken Hoven. I don't remember his actual prison ID number, but Ken Hoven to come in with the guy that started freekenhoven.com when he was in prison trying to get him released.
Oh, yeah,
Those
yeah.
two guys what's his name? Mark, Brian, something like that?
Wasn't it Ernie something?
I honestly don't remember.
Anyway.
But anyways, he'll be coming with him to have a debate with Negation of P and maybe Nate Brody on the subject of, brace for it, tax evasion.
Ooh.
Yes, tax evasion. So he is going to actually, I guess, talk about whether, what he did was structuring, was it against the law? What I gathered was he's trying to basically have the governor pardon him by saying that what he did wasn't actually a crime. So he's just trying to get exposure.
He has a presidential pardon petition going on right now, but I don't think he understands that comes with an admission of guilt. So that would be interesting to ask.
This is true.
Ooh, that's a hell of a. All right. So I'm going to turn, Doctor, if you will take this opportunity to kind of go into more detail than I did with your introduction. You can let people know what you're up to these days and what you do, and then we'll jump into tonight's discussion.
Sure. I'm actually primarily a paleontologist by training. I was one of those kids who got hooked on dinosaurs at age 4 and never grew up. except that I got that bug for dinosaurs back in the 1950s when I was the only kid I ever met in my school years who cared about dinosaurs. Now all kids care about it, including my youngest as well. So it's funny how that's changed. But that's got me started in paleontology, and that was something I pursued all my academic career, and ended up getting my bachelor's in geology and biology to cover all the background of paleo when I was undergrad at UC Riverside, and then all my graduate degrees at Columbia University and the American Museum of Natural History in New York, which was probably the best place to be trained in fossil vertebrates especially. And so that's my academic background. I have taught a number of places. For 27 years, I taught at Occidental College here in Los Angeles, and then I retired from that job early. But I've also taught at Caltech part-time, and I've taught at other places like Vassar College when I was still a graduate student, and Knox College, Illinois, my first job out of graduate school. And nowadays, I'm mostly semi-retired, trying to write more than anything else, but I still find myself having to earn a few bucks now and then by part-time teaching. So I currently do that at Cal Poly Pomona, which is close to here. And so that's my current position, but I'm hoping to finally stop teaching and fully retire, so all I do is write. As you mentioned, I've written a number of books. The total's up to 40 now, and there's 3 more coming out next year, which is not that far away now. And I'm currently working on one. As a matter of fact, I was writing a chapter today about flat earthers. So it's all about the weird ideas about the earth. Some of them are like flat earthers and geocentrists and hollow earthers and the whole spectrum of strange ideas that are out there. And so I've written about half of it already. And I was supposed to finish it by New Year's Day, but I'll probably get it done about a week or 2 afterwards. So I'm pushing hard to finish it before I go back to teaching in January.
You know what's
Go ahead.
It's amazing? We host flat Earth debates here every weekend. Where
I know I looked at your site, so you had some of those.
Yeah.
So you actually engaged the real people.
Let me ask you.
I'm not sure they're real people.
Before we get into the
actual,
actual, the serious science stuff, what's your take on the people that think that the Earth is? Because we actually have about 6 people in the live chat right now that are flat earthers trying to spread their message. But what's your kind of takeaway that's in your experience or anything that you've seen? What's your take on that?
Well, what I've noticed is that the weird earthers, the ones who believe in some unconventional idea or another, they're usually of 1 or 2 camps. Either they're fundamentalist Christians, and that's where they take the Bible literally, and therefore things like not just young Earth creationism, but also things like the sun moves around the Earth and the Earth is flat, and all those things are actually in the Bible in the literal form. So those are where a lot of that belief comes from, is an attempt to go back to biblical literalism. They see that group a lot. But the other groups, especially things like the people who follow Atlantis and hollow Earth ideas and all the rest, don't seem to have any religious motive at all. They're mostly in the paranormal crowd. They're people who also buy into stuff like UFOs and aliens, and they tend not to be in the religious side of it at all. So really, it's 2 different kinds of people who buy into these bizarre ideas, and it all comes from a difference in what their backgrounds are like. They almost sort into 2 different camps that only barely overlap. There's some that have both components, so they're religious and they're believers in paranormal, but not very many of them, and they're usually the one or the other.
Do you believe them? Do you think that they honestly actually believe this stuff, or is it just like what I think?
Oh, yeah.
You do?
Okay. I mean, the ones that are religious, certainly, because religion is very central to their lives and everything else rotates around it. So if you're going to hell, if you don't believe, then you believe, right? That's pretty much the fundamentalism in a nutshell. And so these people who take the Bible literally and say the earth must be the center of the universe because the Bible says so, or, the earth is flat because the Bible says so, all of these people tend to be, therefore, willing to do anything it takes to reconcile what's been said with what they believe. And then a lot of people I've dealt with, when I have dealt with these people, especially when I wrote the book about UFOs and aliens, the people who believe in paranormal, it's almost like a religion to them too. It's very much a part of their identity to believe in these paranormal topics and to see the world through that particular set of glasses. And so, once in a while you run into people I think who are con artists, who are selling it to a lot of the fundamentalist preachers, I think often are as much con artists as anything else. They know how to get more out of people by milking them for money and donations and all the rest. Ken Ham, I think, falls in that camp, although I'm sure he believes what he preaches. He's also a good salesman as well. But majority of them are just true believers